What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me on another hike. Maybe I'll start naming these wealth hikes as I drop just some information for you to learn what it takes to truly build wealth and just live the life that you deserve to live. And one of the things that a common question I get a lot is talking about how do you build multiple streams of income? I think having multiple streams of income is crucial. We saw this during the pandemic when people were getting laid off, people were losing jobs. I mean, it was a scary time, and luckily we had unemployment, had all these government assistance programs that really helped out. But when that ran out, when people are still trying to find work and start doing the side hustles, the DoorDashes, the Grubhubs, the Instacarts, that was great. But to have something else that could bring that money in just to help pay the bills. Maybe it didn't pay all the bills, right? But just paid some of that bills. I mean, this is where we're talking about passive income, making money while you are at home, while you are spending time with your family. And for me, it took a lot of time. I'm also a slow learner. So if you are part of that club, don't worry. For me, when I started seeing other wealthy people, and I saw how they were making multiple streams of income, like eventually it started to make sense. But before you can make multiple streams of income, the one thing, this is probably the biggest mistake that I see people do, is that you have to master at least one form of income, one form of reliable income. And I know, like, it may be your job, like it might be the 9 to 5. For me, what happened was where I really learned this was I had started my career. I was a financial planner. I was a W-2 employee at the first investment firm I started with. 5 years into that, I ended up becoming what we call an independent advisor, ended up co-founding my own investment firm, and then I became the 1099 independent contractor. And during that stage in my life, I remember I became obsessed with, I want to make money on the side. Like I want to do this, and whether it be real estate, it was multi-level marketing, it was a variety of things. I was with a former client of mine. I remember we were talking about starting a marathon in where I used to live. There was a kind of like this wine country, and we were like, we're gonna have this marathon in this wine country. A couple things at that point in my life. One, I didn't drink wine. Two, I hated to run. Yes, I was in the military. Maybe that's probably why I hate to run. But I'm not a runner. Like, even at this age, I still hate to run. I got bad knees. My lower back gets tight. So I kind of look back at that and laugh, because it was that whole shiny object syndrome where, that sounds like a great idea. That can make a lot of money. Let's have a marathon. It wasn't even anything I was passionate about. So I kept just getting all these different distractions. If somebody came to me with any idea that potentially could add another additional revenue stream, I would like, sign me up. I am on board. And took me probably a few months into that new idea to realize, this isn't fun. This isn't a lot of work. And one of there was a few, but the time that it really hit home for me was, once again, I'm a financial planner, growing the business, and I was trying to do real estate on the side. I was working with my father-in-law at the time. I'd listened to these these audio CDs, like this info book. I think the guy's name was Carlton Sheets. I think he's passed away now, but it was like, we're talking like marketing 101. I'm listening to all these audio CDs, learning about real estate, and I became obsessed. So I'm looking at all these different properties. I'm driving around in our area. Anytime like a property would come up, I don't even know how I was finding these properties, because I didn't even know what I was doing. And I remember I ended up making an offer on this duplex, and it wasn't until I ended up talking to my CPA already after I made the offer. And he was like, wait, that I'm like a real estate investor too, which he is. And for whatever reason, me not getting his advice on whether this was a good investment or not was like one of those like brain fart moments. But he looked at the numbers. He's like, Jeff, this is one of those deals where, if there's anything goes wrong with this duplex, needs a new roof, air conditioning, fill in the blank, you're gonna lose money and you're gonna be in the hole for like the next 15 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Luckily, I was able to get out of that deal, and that's when it finally hit home for me. Man, I have this really good thing going right now. I wanna figure out a way how I can just start making more money over here. So I got to the point where I'm like, recognizing I had not exhausted all possible means to make the most out of what I was already, the situation I already had. I hadn't fully mastered that income source. So I went back and I doubled down. And sure enough, I started making more money from that, which then led to me, and hopefully this is also helpful, was instead of doing something that is completely different, is there some sort of side hustle? Is there some sort of side business that you can start that complements what you are already doing? And what I end up stumbling into after leaving that brokerage firm, as I mentioned, co-founding my own investment firm, I ended up starting a blog, a financial blog, where I was just sharing my experience, kind of like I do here on the YouTube channel, but more from a more text. So just writing articles, sharing my experience, some of my trial and error that I've learned through investing, client experiences, sharing some of their journeys. And I just began sharing that information, truly hoping to impact others. Just like, man, if I could share some of the mistakes that I have made or that I've learned other people have made in their investing journey and prevent somebody else from making those same mistakes, like how awesome would that be, right? So then I just started doing that. Not really intentional of making money, but just as a way, it was a marketing tool, but also as a way to kind of giving back. And what that ended up becoming was a side hustle. And next thing I know, this side hustle starts making some really good money. It was like a couple $100. And that took me almost 9 months to get there. But then all of a sudden, it's like 300, and it's 500, then it's 1,000. And then it was 3,000, and then it was 5,000. And I'm like, whoa, this is serious. This is awesome. And the cool thing in that whole experience was it was a compliment to what I was already doing. So I was just kind of sharing everything that I'm learning over here from this thing, and I'm sharing it over here, and it's also producing money. So this is making money, and they're working together. And from there, it ended up growing to where I started a podcast. I started the YouTube channel. I wrote a book. I created courses. So it just began to grow from there. And that's when I started realizing, oh, this is how wealthy people, this is how entrepreneurs earn multiple streams of income. And what I didn't mention through all that was starting to recognize what parts of the day-to-day tasks do I need to remove, by hiring people, virtual assistants, independent contractors, employees to help out. But in all that, it allowed me to, really just hone in on the things that I love to do, that I love to produce content. And not just produce content, because that sounds kind of vague, but I loved to produce content that I felt would help somebody, that would help one person, that would help hundreds, that would help thousands, potentially millions of people, just by writing a blog post, just by recording a video or recording a podcast. But how could I actually produce something that could leave an impact that's immeasurable? And that's what I did. So when I look back in this journey of what I learned and what I want you to take away from this video is, when you are chasing that coveted multiple streams of income, be careful what you chase. Be careful that you are not chasing something just to say that I have another stream of income. Because what you end up finding out is that you just have something worse than a 9-to-5 job with a bad boss. You might have this business that you absolutely hate. You might have this secondary income source that is sucking the life out of you, but you're doing it just for that attraction of saying, oh, look at me, I've got multiple streams of income. I have passive income, which maybe you're not doing a lot of work every once in a while, but whenever you are working, you feel like you want to stab yourself with a butter knife. I promise you it's not worth it. I've had those types of incomes. I promise you it's not worth it. But the first thing before you go down that path is look at what you currently have. You know, take inventory, take stock of what you currently have. Then ask yourself, are there ways, have I truly mastered what I have right now? Are there ways to increase it? Are there ways to outsource? Are there ways to delegate? Are there ways to invest into myself, accelerated learning, education, invest in my brand that could elevate the current income status and then lead into other potential income streams? All right, y'all, hope that was helpful. I know I've enjoyed learning. I hope that you're enjoying learning through my mistakes and my failures over the years. I enjoy putting this content out there to help you achieve wealth at a much faster clip than I ever did. All right, y'all. If you haven't yet, be sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Until then, peace.